Writers' CGIL Union presents a class action against the application of the collective labor agreement. Enac gives to ETA a green light. The airline can start selling tickets. Capo Teulada, 5 former army chiefs to be charged for environmental disaster. Messina Denaro and the other 5 the top most wanted. Welcome to the NEWSCAST of Italy today. The first is about the riders for food delivery. In fact, CGIL Union has claimed a class action against the application of the collective labor agreement for riders, and it is the first in Italy in the field of labor law.
The CGIL Union announces the first class action about labor agreement in Italy, to put an end to the application of the halter agreement for the riders. For the union, the agreement establishes piecework as a form of pay, by limiting the rights of workers on food delivery platforms. The CGIL filed the first class action of the riders against the national application of the UGL collective agreement. The agreement on the contract was reached last September by Delivery, the Association of Food Delivery Platforms, such as Glovo, Deliveroo, and Uber Eats, and the right-wing union UGL. Already a year ago it had triggered the unified and compact reaction of the confederal unions and self-organized unions, but also the perplexities of the Ministry of Labor, which however were not followed by concrete acts. The unions of the CGIL, NIDL, FILCAMS, and FILT, have filed, with the Court of Milan, the first class action to oppose the national application of the UGL agreement about the riders. CGIL writes in a statement, underlining that it is the first class action by gig economy workers presented in Europe, and the first in Italy in the field of labor law. With this collective appeal, continues the press release, the CGIL intends to extend to all Deliveroo riders what was recently established by the Bologna judge who, in July of this year, in acceptance of an appeal for anti-union conduct, declared the agreement illegitimate, because stipulated by a Delivery with only one trade union considered non-representative, imposed by the multinationals in the sector as a condition for being able to continue working. In fact, the only union that signed it, among other things aligned with the wishes of the multinationals, did not have the requisites of representativeness, the judges specified. Which then sanctioned a pivotal point: the convenience agreement signed by the apps with the UGL is not valid and, even more so, those who do not accept it cannot be threatened with dismissal, as has been done in recent months. The class action, concludes the CGIL statement, is a new initiative with possible disruptive effects on the labor market. A positive outcome would, in fact, allow all riders to have adequate salaries and working conditions parameterized to the collective bargaining of the sector. With this further judicial initiative, the CGIL intervenes on one of the main distorting factors of the sector's bargaining and of job insecurity among riders, which dignified to workers at high risk of marginalization.
Enac, the Italian aviation authority, gives to ETA a green light. The new company can now start selling tickets for flights that will start in October.
After the test flight carried out 2 days ago, the new Italian airlines obtained the Air Operator Certificate and the Air Transport Operating License, essential documents for moving to the after Alitalia operational phase. ETA, which means Italia Trasporto Aereo, can now operate as new national airlines. While unions worried about the delays in the schedule, the first flights should leave in October. Enac, the national body for civil aviation, has issued the certificate and license and ETA can take off. The hope is that the new national company will contribute to the restart of the sector, contributing, in a decisive way, to overcoming the difficulties arising from the pandemic crisis. So the president of the National Civil Aviation Authority, Pierluigi Di Palma, comments in a note. Enac will continue in its institutional and technical tasks to ensure the operational startup of ETA, ensuring compliance with public interests and the rights of passengers, which are essential elements of the air transport business, he adds. Above all, the certification allows the new company, which takes up the baton from Alitalia, to start selling its tickets, perhaps as early as this week. Tickets was the most concern about the new company. In recent days, the controversy broke out over the fact that the old Alitalia continued to sell tickets on its website even for flights after 15th of October, that is, when it will cease to operate, coinciding with the takeoff of ETA. This aroused the immediate irritation of the new company. While the explanation came from speakers close to the old company, the closure of flight sales is subject to the actual marketing of tickets by Italia Trasporto Aereo. However, this position is not shared by ETA. A situation that obviously generates uncertainty among travelers wishing to buy a flight for next autumn. However, the Ministry for Economic Development has assured that purchasers of tickets for flights after 15th of October will be protected, and to this end there is a 100 million ticket fund to reimburse travelers. In the meantime, a certain concern is beginning to spread over the risk that ITA's departure may be delayed, with the unions asking for clarity and appealing to the government to start a confrontation as soon as possible. In fact, there are still no calls for tenders, starting with the one for the brand, in addition to the formalization, by the EU Commission, of the substantial green light for ITA operations announced on last 15th July. Fears about which speakers close to the Alitalia case have reassured in recent days, specifying how neither the Ministry of Economic Development, nor the Commissioners, are late with the fulfillment of the formal acts to proceed as soon as the final decision of the EU Commission is issued.
The prosecutor of Cagliari has asked for 5 former army chiefs to be charged for environmental disaster in the case of the military base used for fire exercises.
For the case of Capo Teulada, the investigating judge orders 5 former army chiefs to be charged for environmental disaster. The filing request has been rejected. The investigation concerns the harmful effects that the war activities of the military base, which have been going on for decades, have had on the level of pollution for the territory, and for the residents and of the military themselves. In the order of the prosecutor, a report is mentioned that speaks of the presence of radioactive contamination in some areas, such as strike landing areas for fire exercises carried out, with the use of missiles. It is with this decision that the investigating judge of the Cagliari court, Maria Alessandra Teddi, reopened the investigation into the Capo Teulada firing range, located in southern Sardinia. The dismissal request of the prosecutor Emanuela Secchi was rejected, after about a year from the opening of the file for environmental disaster, and multiple manslaughter against the managers of the base. Now the investigating judge has placed the ultimatum to formulate the first charge within 10 days, instead ordering the prosecutor to carry out further investigations regarding the second hypothesis. In the order of the investigating judge, Report Seal Manifesto, between 2008 and 2016 alone, writes the newspaper, among Maxi NATO operations and war activities of the Italian army, 860,000 shots were fired and 11,875 missiles were launched, equal to 556 tons of dangerous war remnant, often buried in the ground, it is stated in the ordinance. A huge amount of material, due, according to the investigating judge, also to the lack of decontamination activities. The range, built in 1956, is the second in Italy by extension, 7,200 hectares, to which are added another 75,000 of military areas forbidden to navigation. Created thanks to the NATO agreements, it is used for shooting exercises and the simulation of military interventions in the so-called real scenarios, which stage contemporary war conditions. One of the major European high-tech training centers, that of Capo Teulada, thanks also to a recent investment of €70 billion. Hence the charge for environmental disaster against 5 very high leaders of the Italian army, Giuseppe Vellotto, Claudio Graziano, and Danilo Errico, Domenico Rossi, and Sandro Santroni, held criminally responsible for the situation in Capo Teulada. To this first charge is also added that for multiple manslaughter. The base, in fact, not only constitutes a threat to the environment but also to the health of civilians who live near it, or who have served there. Many people who during the years of war activity have reported that they have fallen ill or have seen their relatives die of cancer. Complaints that have been accepted by Judge Teddy, who has therefore prepared further investigations in this regard. The new studies will be taken over by new experts, and will last 5 months.
Messina Denaro and the other 5 are the top most wanted, the fugitives of maximum danger. The data of Interior Ministry says that in 10 years 132 have been arrested.
The report of the Central Management of the Criminal Police dedicated to fugitives of maximum danger and dangerous has been published. It focuses on the activities of the Integrated Joint Group for the Search and Arrest of Fugitives in the period 2010 to 2020. Matteo Messina Denaro is the most wanted, while the others sought are Messina, Motesi, Cinquegranella, Imperali and Cubedu. The best known of all is certainly Matteo Messina Denaro, the Scarlet Pimpernel of Cosa Nostra, the last boss left in the wild among those who keep the secrets of the massacres. With him there are 5 other people. They are the fugitives of a maximum danger, included in the list of criminal pool. The other, top most wanted, are Graziano Messina, a well-known Sardinian bandit, Giovanni Motesi, exponent of Cosa Nostra, Renato Cinquegranella and Raffaele Imperali, boss of the Camorra, and Attilio Cubedu, who on the other hand is indicated only as responsible for serious crimes. The list of dangerous fugitives currently includes 62 people, of which 18 affiliated with the Ndrangheta, 3 with the Camorra, 4 with Apulian crime, 2 with Cosa Nostra, 2 with the kidnapping area and 33 responsible for serious crimes. From 2010 to 2020, 22 fugitives of maximum danger and 110 dangerous fugitives were brought to justice. The arrests in the last year of 2 prominent exponents of the Ndrangheta, Francesco Pelle and Rocco Morabito, both included in the list of fugitives of greatest danger, stand out. The body, reads the Viminali website in reference to the Integrated Joint Forces Group for the Search of Fugitives, represents an Italian best practice with the task of collecting, analyzing and synthesizing information on the degree of danger of the subjects. It is chaired by the Deputy Director General of Public Security and Central Director of the Criminal Police, Vittorio Rizzi, and composed of the representatives of the General Commands of the Carabinieri, and the Guardia di Finanza, the Anti-Mafia Investigative Directorate, the Central Directorate for Anti-Drug Services and of the Central Anti-Crime Directorate of the State Police, as well as AZ&As, with the coordination of the Criminal Pool Criminal Analysis Service. In February 2020, the composition of the group was further expanded to include the participation of experts from the Service for International Police Cooperation located in over 60 countries around the world. An international dimension further strengthened with the launch, in July 2020, of the ICON project, Interpol Cooperation Against Ndrangheta, to increase cooperation between the police forces of the 11 member countries, in addition to Italy, to facilitate the identification of capital offences, the location and arrest of fugitives.
The report for Italy today. That's it for today. Thanks for joining us. We invite you to subscribe to the Facebook page and follow us again.